Hey there, everyone. Welcome to our Optimal Health Community Let's Talk webinar. My name is Jan Paxman, and I am a certified Optavia coach and have been for almost 16 years. I love this program. I love this community. I'm so excited to be here with you. Boy, are you in for a trick or treat. I don't know, but we got lots of great tips and ideas coming up for you because we're just about to enter into the holiday season. And we need some help, right? It's not an easy time, but it can be an easy time. It all depends on how we look at it and how we navigate it. And we're going to learn tonight from very special guests. But first of all, I'm so excited to be here with you coming from Sun Valley, Idaho. I'm usually in Utah, but I'm up here for a special conference I get to attend, and it's so fun to see where you're all coming from. And I would love to invite you guys for a moment to focus on a win that you had today. Something wonderful that happened to you, whether with your health or with your life, anything at all. Please share that in the chat with us because in the spirit of the Win Zoom, when you focus on things that are going well, you see more of them. So let's be celebrating. I love seeing those things coming in through the chat. And I'm going to go ahead now and move into our special presentation tonight. I'd like to introduce to you Donnie Alvarenga. I've known Donnie for a long time, like 15 years. She's a very, very special person. So excited to have her. And she will be introducing our other special guests. But I just want to introduce Donnie. She is a former oncology nurse that turned to being a pediatric nurse practitioner. And then she turned into be a Optavia coach, but her favorite calling of all is mama to twin 15-year-old daughters who I remember when they were just little. And so, Donnie, take it away, sister. You've got some great things to share with us tonight. We're so excited and appreciative in advance.
Well, thanks so much, Jan. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So, welcome to Let's Talk and welcome to the last quarter of 2026. I could hardly believe it when I went to Lowe's like a couple days after 4th of July, it felt like. And all this Halloween stuff was up. And I was thinking, whoa, that is too early. But we are now just a couple of weeks away, and Halloween seems to kind of signal it's kind of like the kickoff for the holiday season, which oftentimes feels a little tricky, as Jan was talking about, right? Between Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever other holidays you might celebrate, there's just this huge concentration of parties and gatherings back to back. And sometimes we feel like we have to choose between being healthy or having fun or making memories or letting our health go, right? And in this community, we actually believe in a both and world. We don't have to choose either or. We can have fun and be healthy. All it takes is for us to learn how to party like a pro. Now, I'm curious to hear from you guys. What is your favorite holiday this time of year? As Jan mentioned, my name is Donnie, and I have been coaching for almost 15 years. And my girls, my twins are 15, and so they have been part of this journey from the beginning. And Christmas of 2010 was a huge year for me, a huge Christmas for me, because of a couple of reasons. The first one is that it was my first Christmas as a mom, which was so exciting for me. And second of all, is because it was the biggest that I had ever been. And this is even after being pregnant with twins. And so what happened was I went through Christmas that year and I said, enough is enough. And come January, I started on the program. And then come April, I said, I can't keep this to myself. And I became a coach myself. And life has never been the same. So not only have I never seen that weight again, but I also was able to be home with my babies for 14 of their 15 years so far. And so I'm excited to share with you some of the tips and strategies that I've picked up over the past 14 holiday seasons that we've been through. Now, I love planning parties. I love planning them when there's an event, right? And it was my daughter's 15, their quinceañera, earlier this year. And so I planned a big shebang deal. I love planning parties when there's an event. But I'm excited to introduce you to my friend Nancy because Nancy creates events for the parties, and any opportunity to get together is a party. And this is a professional for sure. So welcome, Nancy.
Oh, thanks for having me. I lost my weight with Optavia back 13 and a half years ago. And it took me about 3 weeks to know that I had to share this gift with other people. I had so many people at my hair salon say, "Whoa, take me with you." So I started coaching pretty early on. And it has been such a joy to watch so many people change their lives. Every day is so special. What we're going to talk about tonight is how I see myself now as somebody that wasn't visiting Healthy Land anymore. I used to go on all the diets and gain and lose the weight a million times, but when I would get to a healthy weight, it was like so pretty. And I felt like I was in Oz and I was Dorothy and it was so pretty. I'm going to enjoy it while I'm here. I mean, I know I'll go back to Obese Land, but while I'm here, I'm really going to love it and enjoy it. But with Optavia, I thought, no, I'm home. I belong here and I'm going to shop like a healthy person. I'm going to vacation like a healthy person and I'm going to party like a healthy person. Why? Because I am one. So planning parties that are healthy and fun and not skipping a beat socially has been my jam. So thank you for having me on this call.
I absolutely love having you on this call. Now, tell us a little bit, Nancy, about what happened when you made the transformation. You adopted this new identity, right? And how were the holidays different for you when you adopted that new identity? Like, what was it that you looked forward to and enjoyed most?
Well, anybody that knows me knows I really hate the cold, but I I really love Christmas and I love the whole season. I'm the person that decorates for Christmas like the second week of November because it's so much work for all the decorating I do. I want to go to full season and at Thanksgiving dinner, I'm thankful my decorating is done. So, I love that time of year, but it was really fun that I could wear clothes that weren't pants in the winter where I was cold. Like to wear a sweater dress and I could wear boots that zipped over my calves. Now, I know that might sound really lame and maybe even vain, but it was so cool that I could wear things that I thought only other people could wear. And I remember zipping those boots over my calf that first Christmas, and I wore dresses in the winter. And I thought, wow, like options. I love having options and wearing clothes that were stylish, not just clothes because I bought one style of pants in every color because it's the only thing that fit. So that does that make sense? It was fun
Yes,
for
I
me.
love that. I love that. It's the new Christmas, right? And so a lot of times when we think of the holidays and whether we have to be healthy or have fun, that choice, it feels like I heard you say this earlier, Nancy, and I thought it was so true. It feels like the food takes the throne during that time of the year, right? And what I hear you saying is that actually it's a lot more fun when you take the food off the throne and you become that dominant force. Is that right?
For sure, doesn't love food, right? But it's not everything in life. And I found that it was just revolving, all my thoughts were revolving about food. Every holiday, it was all about the food. And now I can like scale back a little bit and realize there's so much more to it. It's the memories you create, it's the reason for all the seasons, it's gratitude, it's the people connection. It's not just food.
Yes.
And that was a big switch for me.
Yes. And as we talked about earlier, we want to make sure that we have fun and we keep our health at the same time. And all we need to do that is learn how to party like a pro. And so I want you to think of this as your new recipe for success for the holidays, right? It's your new little recipe box. It's your holiday recipe to party like a pro. So basically, we spot the pitfalls, we shift like a pro, and then we party with purpose. And so, what does it mean to spot the pitfalls? Well, basically, we identify the things that are going to trip us up so that we can prepare for them. And then we shift our mindset to set ourselves for success. And then we party with intentionality, with that new identity that Nancy was talking about. So, what is the first pitfall we're going to talk about? Well, it's the pitfall of the all or nothing trap. So I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but maybe slipped up on one meal and were not as perfect as you had hoped you would be. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I just blew that one meal, so might as well blow the day. And then you're like, well, blew the day, might as well, just keep going for the week. And then, well, I blew the week, and so I might as well keep going through the month. And then all of a sudden, we're in January, right? And that's that all or nothing trap. Not to mention, like I mentioned earlier, that when Thanksgiving comes around, not Thanksgiving, Halloween comes around, it's like this kickoff for this blur. It's the season of blur. That calendar right there is blurred on purpose because it feels like that sometimes, right? It's like one party after the other. So why even bother? Have you ever been in that situation, Nancy, or have you ever faced that kind of dilemma or way of thinking?
Oh, my whole life until Optavia. Absolutely. It's almost like these holidays, these months don't count. And I just wanted to mention real quick, the things we're going to talk about tonight can be applied all year long. This is a skill set. So, the summer is not overly easy either without its temptations. You got picnics and vacations and birthdays and weekends and holidays all year long. So every day matters. And what did we calculate? 8 weeks is how many meals?
Actually, the next slide. Before we go to the next slide, though, can you tell us what you call this season? I absolutely love that. What is this called?
Yes, it's Hollow Thanksmaka. Okay. It's just like one big thing.
It's Hollow Thanksmaka, right? It's
Hollow
one big
Thanksmaka.
day.
Yes.
Yes, but on the next slide, yeah, go ahead, tell us how does that break down?
Well, if it's 8 weeks, let's just say from Halloween until January 1st, that's a lot of meals in there. Like we think, we might as well just, all or nothing. I'm not going to be good this season, so these months don't count. But if you really think about it, how many temptations do we have in that time? Maybe four parties, maybe some special meals in there. But when you actually do the math of how many meals it is, we calculated, what was
300. I think we calculate
356?
336. Yep, 56 days.
36. So
Yes.
if you screw up 6 meals, you get 330 chances to get it right. And when somebody pointed that out to me, that was a game changer.
Yeah. So, even if we did 12 special meals, right? That still is over 300 meals that we can make a different choice. So, the all or nothing trap, the reality is that we have lots of opportunities to make a new choice. Not only do we have lots of opportunities to make a new choice, but I'm curious to find out from you guys, what is a favorite holiday memory of yours? I know that for me, and Chris, if you can move on to the next slide, this picture here is actually of a family tradition of mine, is that every Christmas we reenact the nativity scene. And the kids run around the house and grab whatever blankets and towels and whatever, and everybody gets dressed from grandma down to everybody. And we literally just read through the nativity and we dress up. And those are the memories that mean the most to me. I don't even remember what we ate last year for Christmas, if I'm honest, right? And so the truth is that when we think about this all or nothing trap, right? First of all, we have great opportunities to make many choices, right? So it's meals, not months. And it's fun over fullness. So the shifts are on the next slide. The trap is the all or nothing. The shift, the pro shift that we talked about, is meals, not months, progress over perfection, and fun over fullness. If you slip up, remember you have the opportunity to make a better choice next time. The next pitfall we're going to talk a little bit about is the one of tradition, meaning food, meaning love. We assign meaning to the food during the holidays. It's like if we don't enjoy the cookies, if we don't eat the cookies, then we're not really having Christmas. How is it that you've navigated that, Nancy?
Well, it's so funny. I always blamed it because I was Italian. Italians blame, they show their love through food. But I think almost every nationality has told me that same story. I don't care what your heritage is. A lot of times food is used to show love. But I started to really think about it. It's like if I need to make grandma's cookie recipe to feel close to her, and I make these same cookies because it's tradition. It's really grandma I missed. It's not so much that I can bring her back by making her cookies. It's just I miss that closeness. So thinking about it, if grandma passed too soon, what a great way to honor her memory by being healthy and living on this life longer, fighting disease to be here longer for my grandkids. And so looking at food as nourishment to be enjoyed, but not the end all. And just making it about the memories and the people that I'm surrounding myself. That really was a big switch for me.
Yeah. So the reality is that we crave connection, not the cookies, right? We crave the memories and the laughter and that time together more than we crave the cookies. We just kind of switch that around in our brain, right? And so, what are the shifts? The shifts are that we focus on people over plates. Instead of thinking, what are we going to eat? Let's think, who am I going to connect with, right? And it's memories over morsels. It's not just who am I going to connect with, but how am I going to connect with them? I love an example that you use, Nancy, of how it is that you're like creating memories with your family during the holidays. Would you be willing to share that?
Well, yeah, I used to love making cookies with my kids, but it was really the time spent with them and being creative. So I have done a couple of things differently. Like traditions, you can make new ones, right? So I'll make a gingerbread house because they're nasty. Like I wouldn't eat it. There's like little germy hands all over it with the little 3-year-old, and that's being creative, and I wouldn't eat it, right? But another thing is make ornaments, make some sort of a craft. You could do something for Thanksgiving, something for Christmas, where it's long lasting. It's with you years later, and you're using that creative time with your family. And who's to say it's not great to make brand new memories and start something new with your family? So
Yes, last year what we did with my brother's family, we played like a reindeer game where we put cups on our hands and we had cotton balls on the table and they had whoever could gather as many cotton balls or the most cotton balls won. And I can't tell you how funny that was, watching my brother and his son with their little reindeer hands trying to gather the cotton balls. And once again, I remember that. I don't remember what we ate, right? And so focusing on the people and not the plates and the connection over consumption. So the third pitfall we're going to talk about is the social pressure or the people the food pushers, right? At my house, my grandmother never asked you if you wanted more. She would just plop it right on your plate, right? She would just plop it. And I know you were talking about being Italian. Well, I'm Brazilian. And the food pushing is a real thing. And so learning how to navigate that is a skill that is required if we're going to adopt this new healthy identity, right? And so, what are some of the ways that you've navigated those food pushers, Nancy?
well, it really helps me to switch my words because if I say I can't, oh, that looks so good. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm on a diet. That's a victim mentality. Your friends think you're sad. And they're like, then come the food pushers. Oh, come on, it's a party. Oh, come on, it's Thanksgiving. You only live once, and they start pushing. Where if I switched from can't to don't, it makes all the difference. Or if I'm like, oh no, thank you, I'm not feeling it tonight. Or I already had some. Yeah, like for 56 years, I had it many, many times. I had some. So if you sound empowered and you're saying don't instead of can't, it makes all the difference in the world. And what do they care what you eat? You're not stopping them.
Right. And the reality is that, like we were talking about before, we give meaning to the food. And a lot of times people do love us with their food. That's how they show us their love. And so it makes us feel a little obligated to accept their love by eating the food. It's like we want to make sure that they feel appreciated. So the truth is that we want people to feel appreciated and people want to feel loved. And so we can do that. We can have gratitude without having a bite. We don't have to eat to prove that we appreciate it. And we also don't need to explain because if we believe that they're loving us with the food, then we don't have to like try to explain our way out of it. We can just say, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I appreciate so much that you've done that. I'm good today." That's it. You can decline without defining. Now, if you happen to be one of those people that are a little bit of people pleasers, and I'm kind of like that a little bit. And so I like to remember, as you were talking about, that it's how I posture it. If I make it sound like I'm miserable and they love me, they're going to try to rescue me, right? Not only that, but if I say I can't, I like wake up this inner teenager inside my brain that says, I can't. Watch me, right? And that's when I dive into that thing that I thought I couldn't. So it's about choice and not chains. We don't have to anything. We get to choose, right? So we talked about a couple of pitfalls. So remember that the recipe for the healthy holidays and partying like a pro is to spot the pitfalls and shift like a pro. The next thing we're going to talk about is to party with purpose and a couple of different tips and strategies to help us navigate actual events. So, as Nancy was talking about, we need to learn these skills for any time of the year, right? Because parties come all the time. So, when you're at the party, how do you navigate that in a way so that you don't sabotage your health goals, right? Well, the first thing that I will suggest to you is to never go hungry. I know that for me, when I was growing up, I would not eat anything before Thanksgiving dinner, right? It's like I would go all day without eating because I knew that when I ate Thanksgiving dinner, it was good enough for the rest of the month. And so, but what happens is if I didn't eat all day, then I got there really hungry, which just added to the sabotage, right? So make sure that you don't skip meals, that you keep your routine of eating every 2 to 3 hours, and actually make it a point to actually eat before going. And if you have something with protein, that helps keep you full longer. And that just allows you to, when you get to the party, to the event, to feel like you have your wits about you and you don't have to eat it all.
Absolutely.
What is another tip that you live by, Nancy?
Well, I like to know my intention before I even go in the party. I like to declare it to somebody for accountability, maybe my husband or maybe even my coach. Just say, well, what is my plan? How do I want to feel tomorrow morning? So, am I going there and I'm going to have a nibble of something? Am I going to stay in fat burn? Or is all bets are off and I'm going to have a whole lot of regret in the morning? So, I like to have an intentional plan and be accountable with somebody, and then it's easier to follow through.
I love how
This,
you talked about having a whole lot of regret in the morning. You know, a lot of times we don't think about how we want to feel afterwards, right? And so deciding how we want to feel, not necessarily what we want to have, how we want to feel, we can make better choices. And having said that, it's important for us to have a plan for the non-negotiables, right? There might be a certain food that you only eat at Thanksgiving dinner, right? Maybe it's grandma's stuffing or whatever, right? And so having a plan for that non-negotiable makes it so that you don't feel like you have failed or that you've blown it. You're planning for it. You're choosing it. You're not cheating. And so having a plan, first of all, if you do choose that you're going to stay in fat burn, that is an option. It's a very valid option. And talking to your coach about how you can navigate that the stuffing for that one meal is a good idea. But if you decide that you do want to have it, well, then maybe you can decide, okay, I'm going to have the stuffing, but I'm not going to have the vanilla ice cream afterwards because vanilla ice cream you can get any time of the year, right? And if I'm going to have the stuffing, I'm actually going to have 3 bites of it because 95% of the taste satisfaction comes in those 3 bites. So having a plan for those non-negotiables is critical.
Absolutely. I also like to be a food snob. If you think about it, not everything is worth it. Like, do you ever eat something because you dreamt it to be so amazing in your head and then you ate it and you're like, I wish there was a refund for those calories. It was not worth it. All this build up in my head. So be a food snob. Like soggy French fries from a half hour ago in McDonald's, not worth it, right? Some things maybe, but if it's not entirely decadent and important, and let's be honest, all regret comes from impulsive behavior. Think it through first. If it's that important that it is a non-negotiable and you are going to have it, then make it worth it. Don't waste it. Like you said, on the ice cream, you can get any time of year.
Yeah. And on that vein, scout out the table before you start putting anything on your plate. Take a look. If you're going to be a food snob, take a look and see what will be worth the calories, right? Or if you've decided that you're going to stay on plan, then you're going to look through to make sure that you're going to make those choices. And so if you look ahead of time, it makes it easier for you choose wisely. Remember,
Without
stop,
a plate.
challenge.
Without a
What?
plate, you know, check it out first without a plate. Make your decision, then go back with the plate. Absolutely. So important.
And if you could use a small plate when you go back with the plate, right? That helps keep your portions in check, right?
Absolutely.
Any other thoughts, Nancy?
Well, bringing a healthy dish, right? Bring something. You're going to be so thoughtful, right? You bring something, but in reality, you're just trying to survive bringing healthy food, right? That's always so nice to do. Offer to
Yeah.
bring something.
You're contributing to the party, right? You're contributing to the overall gathering, and you always know that there's something there that you can eat and enjoy. And what I have found fascinating is that every time I bring one of these dishes that I would call healthy, everybody ends up loving it. As long as they don't know that it's quote unquote healthy, they're like, "Ooh, what is that?" Right? For Thanksgiving, I like to make, instead of pumpkin pie, I make kabocha squash pie, and it has been a hit at my house the couple of years that I've made that. And the last thing I was going to suggest to you guys also is to make sure to keep your hand occupied, because if you keep a glass in your right hand, it keeps you from reaching back and grabbing more. Somebody posted a suggestion in the chat. They said, it's a meal. Don't keep nibbling the whole time, right? And if you keep a glass in your hand, it helps you control that. It helps you keep it a meal and not like a fest for the whole evening or day, right? So today we talked about a couple of different ways to party like a pro. And it starts with what Nancy talked about, is adopting that new identity that says, I am healthy. This is my new norm. This is home. I am healthy. And so whether it's a Monday or whether it's a party, I'm healthy and I make healthy choices. And to party like a pro, we spot the pitfalls, we shift like a pro, and we party with purpose. I'm going to invite you to pick up your phone right now and message your coach to let them know what is a pitfall that you have traditionally fallen on, or that you're maybe expecting this next year. And what is the shift that you're going to embrace so that you don't fall this year? Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that this year will be a huge success for you on your partying.
Wowzers, you guys, that was so wonderful. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Nancy. You two are partier pros for sure. You are the best, and we appreciate all the great tips. So we've just got a couple of wonderful announcements for everybody tonight. Just a reminder that we do have a podcast channel. Be sure to, okay, well, I won't go there first. I'll talk about this one. Okay, there is a very, very special Explore for those who are interested in becoming part of our wonderful team of health coaches that pay this gift forward. And if you're a healthcare professional, we're going to be talking about that on Thursday this week. And it's going to be at 10 Pacific, 11 Central, 12. Oh, it's got a
That should
couple
say
of,
11 Mountain. Someone named
yeah.
Chris had a typo. Sorry.
I'm like, Chris is confusing me. No, Chris is awesome. Okay, so it's at 12 Eastern. We're just going to say that 12 Eastern on Thursday, and it's going to be fantastic. Dr. A is going to be a part of it, so don't miss that. Invite your people in who are healthcare professionals. And speaking of Dr. Anderson, usually we always have his wonderful Conscious Leaders Forum every first Tuesday of the month, but this month is going to be the second Tuesday of the month. So it's going to be on 10/14. Don't miss that. It's also at 12 Eastern, and it is an hour full of wonderful free, I call it free therapy because it's so incredibly good. So don't miss that. Put it on your calendar and make sure you get there. Now you can go ahead and get set up with our Optimal Health Community podcast channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And we're also on YouTube. So please go in and check us out on YouTube as well. There's the handle. And next week, don't miss out. It's going to be fantastic. Jump in for Let's Talk. We're going to be talking about metabolic health and immunity, all the perks of being metabolically healthy. You won't want to miss it. We've got a couple of health professionals helping us with that as well. So you guys, again, Donnie, Nancy, thank you very, very much. Thanks for everyone being here tonight. And let's make it a healthy, wonderful holiday season. Good night, everyone. Join us next week for Let's Talk.